Yeah, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is a follow on to a topic that we have started, more like a series on fastest routes to Canada. The aim of this series is to provide quality materials, very easily, very easily understood material, well explained. Uh, having from experience, having gathered so many difficulties that people encounter, and one of the major reasons that I've also noticed that people don't even know where to start their application from. Some people spend thousands of dollars to representatives and they don't even get to see anything. So I have walked through the process of getting permanent resident by myself, right? And I thought it's time to put that knowledge out there for people to follow through. That's the essence of my teaching. So I've started a video on overview and guide on the Saskatchewan Immigrant Nominee Program. You can watch that video in the link there or in my description page so that you can get a full grasp of the entire program. So the essence is once you are able to track this episode, there are about 6 episodes that are connected. You are able to follow through. Some of them are to prepare you for documentation. Some are to arrange to guide you on how to fill forms, how to go into the application and fill well detailed videos. Please look out for them and then be able to go. However, in this episode, we'll be looking at expression of interest. So expression of interest is one of the very first steps you take. Having prepared the pre-documents, you've done your education credential assessment, you've taken your language ability, you have your scanned your document. So pretty much is a first step. It's not an application. It is a simple way, SIMP way of saying, let's see what you have. Let's see if you meet with the score before we start even inviting you to apply. So it's a pre-application, not really the application. But it's done on the system. There's a system. I'll introduce it to you shortly when we go into the teaching into the system to show you all of that. So what are the things that you need to follow? And then how do you apply to the expression of interest and step by step? So you'll be able to understand what you need to do. How do you go into the system? How do you put your points? What are the guidelines that you need to do? So at the end of the day, you are aiming to score 60 because that is the minimum mark that you will be able to. And then if you can go through other related videos, you would get a full grasp of where this fall into in the entire process, right? So I want to believe that you are here because you have watched that, or you want to watch this and so that you understand what you need to put in place. So even if you're not ready for this now, go through it so that you understand what you need to put in place when you actually come to this stage. Yeah, so let's dive in, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel to encourage us to produce more video. So let's get in now. I'll see you there. All right, welcome. So we'll be looking at expression of interest, EOI. And I'm sure before you came to this video, you may have watched other videos have been posted on this, right? So, and I enjoyed that you would have already done your language test, your academic, that's education credential assessment, ECA. And then, so you may also have reviewed how to calculate your score. Those are nice videos for you to go through. And then the overview and guide for the Saskatchewan Immigrant Nominee Program. All of these are tied up into this, but this is now expression of interest. The first thing you need to know that expression of interest is not an application. It is you showing your interest, right? So whether you're doing occupation in demand or express entry, and then there is a score in the in the assessment, in the point grid that you need to get, which is minimum of 60. So this will assess all of those, the points, your what you have, how suitable you are for the program. And once the province is convinced that they are okay with you, they will now give you an invitation to apply. So the application that is used for this is called OASIS, user guide, and it's you will see the guide there, even the pictorial representation of each line. So if you haven't done all of the aforementioned process, you can still go through this guide and then be able to appreciate and appraise what you are expecting, and that might encourage you to kickstart your journey, right? It's very simple and straightforward, self-explanatory, and all of these build up to the final positioning. So this is practically like your first step in the application. So it's a pre-application stage, right? So expression of interest, EOI. And then so the first thing you want to look into is to create an account. And the link here is I'll put the link also in my description so you could use it to go. When you click here, it will bring you to this log on page for Oasis. And then the next, you want to put your pick, select the related option to you. This is simp applicant or expression of interest candidate. Remember, I told you it's the same platform, the same OASIS that you use for EOI and then simp application when you have your IT, which is invitation to apply. Now, you need to choose that. Once you choose that, then you create. Please ensure that the name, the username created is in title case. And then you can only have an underscore. Maybe your name underscore a number, or your name underscore your other names, whatever you want to do. You can't use other symbols, just underscore, no more than underscore. You can't use other special character other than underscore. And then there must be no space in what you are doing. So if you're going to use two words, instead of putting space, you put first word underscore second word. That will form your username. And then you put your other personal details here in the format prescribed. But please ensure that your name appears as it is on your passport. That is very important. So when you click that, you submit that, it will send a mail to your box and it will give you a password. With that password, you go back to the login page and you put in there and put the password, and then you are able to come into the page again. So then it will make you change your password, right? So that you can have a new password of your own that is private to you. The current password there is the one that is sent to you. The new password is the one you will create following these rules for password creation. And then you repeat the password there for confirmation. I'm sure you are familiar with such. It's not peculiar to this platform. Then you need to give authorization for personal information, because your data will move from one location to another. So you need to give them that by clicking I agree, a confirmation by clicking and I agree. And in case you lost your password or recovery, or user ID, you can recover it by simply clicking forgot password or ID. And it will send an email to you on that, and it will use it to really assess your document. So when you enter, now the next thing is for you to enter your personal detail. Just on your screen, you will see this portion that has white and a pen in there. It is written, please click here to begin. That's where you start your uh, filling your document from. So I mean this application. So when you click in there, it will request you to fill your personal details and your passport detail. Right. So when you fill in all of this, please ensure that they're exactly as it is written in your passport once again, and follow the date format just as the sample has been put there. And then you put your password number and expiry date. Next off, you need to fill in your home address. And then if you are from outside Canada, you pick the option of international outside Canada so that have a format that you can put your state and your address properly. Then so you click this in there. And then if your home address, your email address is same as your home address, you click yes so that you can replicate that information on the email address. If you click no, that means you have a different mailing address which you now need to capture manually on the mail space of the form. Now, select one of these that applies to you. Now, there are three options there. If you are doing it express entry on operation in demand, the first one typically applies to you. I am a skilled worker who wants to work and live in Saskatchewan. However, if you're already in Saskatchewan and you are working and you want to take the employment route or maybe same of this route, you need to say before that you're currently working and living in Saskatchewan because the considerations will be different and the subcategory might be different. I want to establish an active operate business if you're an entrepreneur. Now, all of this will direct you to the appropriate place where you need to continue your application. So that as it may, when you've done with that, the next is for you to choose if you have a representative that is helping you fill this. If you are doing it by yourself, you said no, and if I have a representative, you said you click yes. Then the link here will guide you on how to complete the form for the representative. So you can click that link, right? So I'll put it also in the description page. Now, so you can continue, you click continue for the next section. Now, the next section is where your eligibility and subcategory is determined. Now, so some questions will be asked. Um, the first question is, do you have a current job offer? Right. So that job offer has to do with uh, those who are going through employment route. So your answer is no, of course, because you don't have a job if you are doing OID or express entry. However, the second one is where we determine which subcategory. Your question, whether yes or no, will be a pointer to what you're applying. So don't be confused. Don't be looking for EOI for OID separately. No, it's the same procedure, but this question will now show the difference. So the question is, have you been accepted into immigration, refugee, and citizenship Canada eligibility entry pool, and then an express entry and then have an express entry profile. Like I told you, if you watch my video on express entry, you will see what I mean on Saskatchewan, on the overview and guide on Saskatchewan. You will see perfectly what this means because for you to want to do Saskatchewan express entry, you must first have an express entry profile in the ILCC pool, which is the federal. Now, this is province, that is federal. Because when you open or create your profile in the express entry pool, they will give you an express entry profile number and then a job seeker code. So this you will say yes if you already have that. I mean, if you don't have, you say no. So that takes you on to occupation in demand. You just need to be sure that if it's occupation in demand, that the job you're applying, I mean, your current job, it's amongst the job that are in occupation in demand, the OID, right, list. So in the occupation list, that is in demand. Yeah. So having said that, um, you need to look at the variation that is that is in play. So if you say No, let's continue. We'll see. Then the next thing is to confirm that you have 1 year experience in the job. So, for example, for occupation in demand, you need to show what your occupation is there, because the list of the occupation in demand is you say you have 1 year in it, right? At least. So, if you go through the job work experience in the point grid in the video, you'll be able to understand how to get points for all of these requirements. Now, if you say yes to it, to the same question, it will ask you to fill your express entry profile number and the job seeker validation code. And then you also be able to click your job to confirm that at least you have at least 1 year in it. So the higher, the better. You would still see how to claim points there. Now, there are also some people whose job are here, but they are, however, regulated or licensed. If you click this link, you will see if your job falls into that category. And then, besides those jobs, are regulatory bodies in Saskatchewan that you need to approach. Click the link in that so you know what the requirements are for your profession. It could be for licensure or for you to go through certain trainings or do some exams in order to be able to practice in Saskatchewan. So that's why you need to know that if you get to that stage that you require licensure and you don't have, your application will be paused till when you are able to provide such same. Now, having done that, you and then you can, if that does not apply to you, then you can move on to respond to the other question. The other question is on education. It wants to know whether you have completed your post-secondary education training or PSAT. So your answer should be yes, I guess, if you have. And they also want to know if your degree is related to occupation that you chose above. It will be yes if it's related, no if it is not related, because all of this would have impact on how you progress and the score that you eventually end with. Now, you need that your category is determined now, right? So, but if you check based on the response that you see, if it is not look at that here now. Like when you if based on your response, you'll be applying under the following category: express Saskatchewan express entry. If what you intend to apply is operation in demand, you simply say no, so that I can take you back to complete. If you say yes, you can't go back again. That means you are going with this. So this will actually affect those who are planning to do express entry, but they actually saw OID here. Something should point you because you ought to, maybe you click no to a place where you need to click yes. So you can go back as an opportunity to do the right thing. And then you also need to review your birth date and address because they are a integral part of what you are doing. Yeah. So once you edit your birth date and your address, you would have to confirm it, right? So birth date and address are very integral to the process. Hence, the need to revalidate. So you confirm after that, and then it takes you to the next thing for you to do, right? So you look at the details of what you have applied for and the things you have ticked, and they are okay. So you review that eligibility, you filled it the way they are, and they are appropriate. So now you need to begin to pick. So you declare a consultant if you are using consultant. This link again, once again, will show you what you need, uh, how you need to proceed in filling details for the consultant. So now let's see the point grid. That's the next section. It's going to show you how those points are articulated, right? So now you need to know, if you don't know how to pick the appropriate point, do not hesitate to pause and quickly check our video on the point grid assessment so that you can have an overview. However, it's easier if you already have an idea what it is. In terms of education training, when you open the door, it will show you the different level of education. Please choose your highest level of education, especially by now. You may have or have done your ECA. If you haven't, just ensure that the ECA is done on your highest level of education, as it were. So please answer the questions regarding accession based on the NWC code. Right. So do you have proof of professional status or licensure? So if you have gotten this by now, you say yes. If you don't have it, no. And then if it's not your job is not regulated and does not require licensure, you simply say not applicable so that you can proceed because that does not really affect you. So there are other questions that you need to answer on education, right? So now you are now responding to it. So do you have a degree or diploma, all of that? If you have, and you have been able to do the ECA, you just say yes, right? So I mean, if the degree is in line with the education that you have picked, you can say yes. If it is no, you click no, right? So do you have a trade certificate that is aligning? If it is yes, you click yes. If it's no, you say no, right? However, what they're asking to you is that whether it is comparable to the Canadian certification. The conversion would have confirmed to you, right? Would have confirmed to you if you have. So by now you have your ECA. If you don't, please go through on our ECA, Education Credential Assessment video, so that you can be guided on how to apply and get it done fast. So that this really shows you where your area of emphasis should be. Now, that's why I ask you, do you have an educational credential assessment completed as a by a designated organization? You see the list of the designated organization. This is one comfortable to you. I've recommended two in my video because they are popular, they're more popular, and I mean, I'm sure from experience that they deliver also. Now, so is a yes or no question as well. Now, for settlement fund, you also check our settlement fund video where you'll be able to know what it is. So if you have it, by now you should have printed your statement like in the last 90 consecutive days, last 3 months or thereabout. So if you have it, you say yes. It's a compulsory question. You need to say yes. If you don't, I will advise that you quickly sort that out in order to complete your application. Now, still work skilled work experience. So here you want to look at the other parameter, which is work experience. Now, I'll quickly explain to you how to pick your score here. If the first line is for your first 5 years experience, the second one is your next 5 years experience, which is between 6 to 10 years. Now, this is how you look at it practically. If you have spent 3 years, if you have 3 years work experience, you just pick three in the first one. The second one is nil, like not is nil, right? But if you have that means you have to pick that is nil that you don't have there. So, but if you have, say, 7 years experience, you pick five in the first one and you pick two in the second line. That really shows that you have more than five. Then, if you have more than 10 or 10 or and above, you will pick five, five for both. Now, for language eligibility, you check my video on language eligibility, how to convert it to CLB. Very pretty straightforward and short video. And if you already know what your scores, and I also gave a calculator just in case you can't calculate manually. There's a calculator where when you put your language score, it will tell you exactly what the CLB equivalent is. It's a very useful video. Yeah, please. So you bring in there, and if you have two languages, you will put the other one. Is an additional score. So it will ask you, are you bilingual for in French and English? If you say yes, do you have the value language choice for the second one? If you have, say yes. If you don't have, say no. And then if you are just English spoken and you have only English I tested, simply say no for both of them. So the second will be picked there. So this first official, ensure you use the one that you know you have uh, um, upper hand in, right? So, for example, if you have better scores in French, use French as your first official language, and use second official language as English for the purpose of claiming your score, right? It is most advisable. So, you should choose the language that is most comfortable as the first official language, because the score actually shows that you are most comfortable in the one you score higher, literally speaking. But if you feel that though you score higher in French, but you are more comfortable in English, you can also follow that order. Now, in the age point reduces as you grow older. So, in the grid also, you will see the point. So, when you open it here, you will see the ages and then the point that is allocated to each, and you pick as appropriate. Now we come to the connection to Saskatchewan labor market and adaptability. There are particularly four lines there. One of them is previous work experience in Saskatchewan. Have you worked in Saskatchewan before? So you pick that 5 point. If you have previous student experience, you pick there. And if you have close relative, that's 20 points. Now there are guidelines to it. Work experience, you must have work at least for 1 year, that's 12 months in that chosen line before you can claim here. Start claiming from this point. So you claim 5 points. Then for previous student experience, you would have spent at least one full year. That's this semester. 2 semesters, that's one full session of academic year for you to be able to claim from that. Then close relative, the list, if you check the overview and guide for SIM, you will see the categories talk about sibling, father, mother, grandparent, grandfather, grandmother, uncle, sister, niece, nephew. So there is a close knit that is mentioned there. So check if you have a family there, it's a very good booster for your score. Remember, it's a trade-off. So you don't have family does not mean it's a showstopper, because you will always find a place that you have an advantage. Is that because you have PhD or masters, or because your age is younger, or because your IELTS score is fantastic? There are some you can use to pump up your score. Others are just the way they are. They are fixed. Then you make your declaration. Uh, on this, you understand the information. The reason why you make this declaration, because everything you have done here will still be used. So it's not just an estimation of the truth. It has to be the truth and the actual truth, because you will find out that when you get an ITA, most of this information will be retained in your application. So don't think you would say whatever you want to say here now, get ITA, and then go back to go and write the wrong. No, it won't work that way, because most of them would have been hard coded. You might not be able to adjust them, because on the basis of the information you have provided is why they have actually invited you to come and apply. So you won't be able to change the goalpost. Now review and submit your EOI. So you need to review everything from the beginning to the end and say that you are fine. And just know that the EOI will remain in the system for 365 days. That's 1 year. But if you wish to cancel it at any time, the cancellation button is there for you to cancel, right? And if, don't remember, just remember that once you cancel it, you do not have an application for them at all. So when you get your invitation to apply, you will see something. That's the cancellation, right? Uh, your cancellation. So when you get your invitation to apply, then you have to go to the same ORCs. If you are doing OID and SOS entry, to continue. However, if it is job side, employment side, you have to create a new profile. So that's about all. If you've enjoyed this video, please do not hesitate to subscribe and click the notification button to encourage us to produce more. There are related video to this. This is a part of the series of fastest route to Canada. There are adjoining videos that will support these videos. Also, if you visit my page, you'll be able to see the videos that I've made and that are related to this and that I've mentioned in the course of this teaching. I want to thank you for your patience, for watching to the end. Hope to see you in our next video. Thank you.